Hello and welcome to an Origin of Energy slideshow clip on being response-able and sustainable. So we're all on our beautiful planet here enjoying it together, and we have many environmental and health challenges at the moment, and our way to be truly healthy is to take responsibility for ourselves and to really help everyone else on the planet see the pathway to doing that and to inspire others by living by example. And then we can truly work in a system that allows for life to eat life. And this is a symbol of Ouroboros, a snake devouring its own tail. And that's what Ouroboros translates to in Greek, is tail devourer. So we all have this beautiful opportunity. And we've got the main elements of life. We've got Earth, which provides a beautiful platform for microorganisms and to have that interaction with seeds that allow for seeds to sprout and reach up for the sun. And then we have the water element that allows for nutrition to be transported and for things that aren't optimal anymore to be transported away and provide nourishment for something else. And then what we also have is our beautiful sun, and it shines down on us all. It's performing miracles every day, and here you can see it walking on water. And it's really the light of the earth, and it's the sun of whatever you want to call it, God, the creator. But it's really a miracle that it really keeps providing us with this beautiful energy every day. And it's an opportunity for us to really utilize that effectively. And it's quite challenging because we've got ancient sunlight that's trapped in our earth, and we keep using it up at a very rapid rate that isn't sustainable. And then we've got our beautiful atmosphere, and we've got oxygen in the atmosphere that the trees pass on to us, and we provide them with carbon dioxide. It's just we're being overly generous at the moment and providing the atmosphere with the light. And the trees on the planet are nourished by our beautiful soils. And soil is alive, it's not dirt. And true healthy soil has microorganisms within it that support life. And then the tree reaches up for the light, and then it expresses itself through its flowers that express pollen. And then the pollen gets transported by bees, but also bats and also other insects and also birds. But the bees transport it and allow for fruit to be expressed, and that's the seed that will allow for the plants to reproduce. And then we've got the earthworms, and we've got composting worms within the soil that allow for birds to consume and to support their life, as well as other insects. And they transport their own internal contents and spread that over, and they're part of the sanitation program, because many birds follow large herds, and the largest herds that are left on the planet are the wildebeest, and they move across the Serengeti and go to fresh pasture each day, and then leave yesterday's toilet behind, and the birds and other insects clean up behind them, and they're part of that sanitation program, which is beautiful. And the evolution allowed for man to come on board and to utilize the resources of these herds and to become nomadic and follow them around and be hunter-gatherers, and also to become agriculturalists and really try and control this. But the thing is that we really had an awesome system when we were, in small communities and tribes that utilized the resources in a sustainable way. And the thing is that we could utilize them effectively for our reproduction. And it's funny, if you think of what sex and animal fats have in common, it's that they're both needed for reproduction. And all our steroid hormones in our body come from cholesterol. When we consume beautiful animal fat, it nourishes us and allows us to reach our potential. And that's why we've got 4.6 times the brain mass of other mammals. And also too why we have the opportunity now to really reconnect with what created us. And all of us excrete matter, and that matter can be returned to the soil and support new life, like you can see here, supporting microorganisms and supporting fungi. And that fungi is part of rich humus that supports plant growth. And that's the circle of life. So if you want to know how to make a great choice in life, It's really quite simple. It's to put your energy into this system and bring it into a modern life, and it really is that basic. And if it doesn't, it's not healthy, it's not responsible, and it's not sustainable. So when we look at what we've created now, and we've got this circle, and it's a broken circle that wastes water and then utilizes monocropping, which doesn't allow for diversity, and has the overuse of chemical fertilizers and pesticides and herbicides and fungicides. And then we're using petrochemicals to maneuver these modern cows that really aren't doing nowhere near as good a job as the herbivores in converting what the earth captures. And then we've got our animals that are put into a monocropping style system, and they don't have the insects, they don't have the bugs, they don't have the sunlight, and they sure as hell don't have the nutrition that they would be getting outside of that. And it's quite sad, because that's what's being passed on to us, and it's so sanitary and it's so dead and lifeless. In supermarkets, many of the things in there don't support life. They really don't support our life, and they're chock full of additives and preservatives and so many chemicals to keep it sanitary. But the thing is, the bugs, there's good and bad bugs, and we need the good bugs to support life. And many of these things, if you just leave them out, they won't even grow mold on them, because they're that dead and lifeless. And this is why we have the health challenges. So we've got to drop into the doctor and find out what's going on. But really, if you look at it, it's because we're in this system, and this system is really, making, for me, it's quite offensive, because, if you look at this system of exercise where people drive to the gym and line up to stand on a machine and watch television and get, stuff promoted to them, it's quite scary. And then what do we do with all of the excess? We don't share the surplus in the sense that we put it back into the soil and re-nourish the circle of life. We put it back into this broken circle of waste. And it's quite scary, because if you look at this, when we put energy into this system, we support chemical companies. We've got from the water here, we've got to pump that water with fossil fuels. We've got all the chemicals and herbicides, fungicides, pesticides, rodenticides that all came out of chemical warfare and a desire to control the masses. Nerve gas was produced for chemical warfare, and that was the birth of modern agriculture and the things that we've developed to control pests. Then we've got fossil fuels used to power these machines, and we've got all the pharmaceutical drugs that are used on our animals to keep them in these systems that really don't support natural life. And it's just not on. And we've got all the chemicals that are used in our foods, and then we've got all the packaging, which is more chemicals. We've got pharmaceutical drugs that were pushed on us with 170 million prescriptions written in 2005, 2006 in Australia. And you've got to think about that pharmaceutical benefit scheme. Is it really benefiting us, or is it benefiting the companies? And I'm not totally against drugs. I think there's a time and a place, but 170 million prescriptions for 20 million people, I think there's something definitely wrong there. I think that's way overdoing it, and there's too many people profiting from this over-prescription of drugs. I think there's a definite use for them, but if we can get that down to around 10 million, I think we're really utilizing that circle of life more effectively and not wasting so much. And if we don't all need memberships to big gyms, we can really utilize the beautiful earth that we have. And in Australia, we're very fortunate, and we don't have to buy so much. So we can all vote with our dollar and think before we buy. Is it wrapped in plastic? Where's that going to go? And we can make a choice. We can compost our waste, and we can really make a difference if we really vote with our dollar. So think before you buy, guys, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.